Okay, good morning, guys. I hope you guys are doing good. We're going to go ahead and get started with lesson 6 in our math lessons. And our objective tells us I can use tape diagrams to solve problems when given a ratio between two quantities and a change to those quantities that changes the ratios. Okay, so today they're going to be giving us two different ratios. And in a word problem, they're going to want us to change the quantities and look at the ratios, and we might have to change the ratios as well. Okay, so we'll get in more depth later. Let's go to exercise 1. It says use tape diagrams to model the occupied rooms and unoccupied rooms on Saturday night and on Sunday night. So number 1 says the Business Direct Hotel caters to people who travel for different types of business trips. On Saturday night, there is not a lot of business travel, so the ratio of the number of occupied rooms to the number of unoccupied rooms is 2 to 5. However, on Sunday night, the ratio of the number of occupied rooms to the number of unoccupied rooms is 6 to 1. Due to the number of business people attending a large conference in the area. If the Business Direct Hotel has 436 occupied rooms on Sunday night, how many occupied rooms does it have, or how many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday night? Okay, so our keywords here, we know our ratio is 2 to 5 and 6 to 1 from Saturday to Sunday. Okay, and those tape diagrams below show that. So it's asking us if the Business Direct Hotel has 432 occupied rooms on Sunday night, how many unoccupied rooms, which is here, does it have on Saturday night? Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out what's going to go in each unit for the occupied rooms. Okay, we know that the occupied rooms equal 432. Okay, on Sunday night. So, how many units are there? Well, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 units for Saturday because the ratio is 6 to 1. I mean, for Sunday, because the ratio is 6 to 1. So, we're going to do 432 divided by 6. Okay. It goes into 43 7 times equals 42. Bring down the 1. Bring down the 12, and then 6 goes into 12 twice. And that's our answer, 72. So 72 is going to go in each of these units. Okay. 72 times 6 is 432. Okay. So now, how many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday night? So now we have to put in 72 in each of these units on Saturday for unoccupied, and then we just have to add these up or multiply. So 72 times 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1 is 36. So how many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday night? 360 rooms, and that is our answer. And then how many rooms does each section represent? 72. Okay. So there we compared two different ratios, 2 to 5, and it gave us the total number of occupied rooms on Sunday night. Okay, so we figured out what was going to go in each unit. It had to go in each of the other units for Saturday night. It was only asking us for the unoccupied rooms on Saturday night, which we did here. We plugged in 72 in each of the 5 units, figured out that 72 times 5 is 360, and that was our answer. All right, let's move on. So, number 2 tells us Peter is trying to work out by completing sit-ups and push-ups in order to gain muscle mass. Originally, Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups, but then he injured his shoulder. Okay, 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups. But then he injured his shoulder. After the injury, Peter completed the same amount of repetitions as he did before his injury, but completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. Okay? During a training session after his injury, Peter completed 8 push-ups. How many push-ups was Peter completing before his injury? Okay? So, before his injury, Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups. Okay, so that's 5 to 3. Sit-ups to push-ups. Okay, I'm going to make a tape diagram real quick. Okay, that is before injury. Now, after the injury, Peter completed the same amount of repetitions as he did before his injury, but completing 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. Okay, so that's 7 to 1 after injury. Okay, so it says during a training session after his injury, Peter completed 8 push-ups. Okay, and remember, our ratio is sit-ups to push-ups, and we're talking about after his injury. Okay, after his injury, Peter completed 8 push-ups. Okay, how many push-ups was Peter completing after his injury, or before his injury? Okay, so what we have to do is look at our after the injury first. Okay, our push-ups is here. It's the one with only 1 unit. So that has to be 8 because he completed 8 push-ups. The ratio was 7 to 1. Okay, but he completed 8 of them. Okay, so now because there is 8 in each of those units, we have to put in 8 in each of the push-ups units. Okay, for before the injury. So this is going to equal 24. So how many push-ups was Peter completing before his injury? 24 push-ups. Okay, so let's go through that again. Originally, before his injury, Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups. So we made that tape diagram. Then he injured his shoulder, he got hurt, and then after, he completed the same amount of reps as he did before his injury, but he completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. Okay, so that was our ratio here after his injury. And then during a training session after his injury, he completed 8 push-ups. So 8 was going to go in the single unit because our ratio was 7 to 1. So if there was 8 in each of the units for push-ups there, we put 8 in each of the units for push-ups here. And when we add them all together, we got 24. Okay, let's move on. Tom and Rob are brothers who like to make bets about the outcomes of different contests between them. Before the last bet, the ratio of the amount of Tom's money to the amount of Rob's money was 4 to 7. Okay, so let's make that a tape diagram. Before, okay, and the ratio is Tom's to Rob's. We're talking about money. Okay, and it's 4 to 7. So Tom's is 4. Rob's is 7. Okay, Rob lost the latest competition, and now the ratio of the amount of Tom's money to the amount of Rob's money is 8-3. So after the next competition, the ratio was 8-3. Tom to Rob. Okay, 8-3. If Rob had $280 before the last competition, how much does Rob have now that he lost his bet? Okay, so let's look at, we have to figure out how much is going to go in each unit for Rob. Okay, so we're looking at right here. Okay, so before the competition, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Okay, so those 7 units had to equal $280. Okay, so when we figure out what's going to go in each unit, we had to do 280 divided by 7. Okay, so let's do the math. 7 goes into 28 4 times. 28 times 7, or 4 times 7 is 28. We bring down the 0, and that 0 is all we have left, so we add it. So we're going to add 40 in each of our units. 40 times 7 equals 280. Okay, so now it's asking us, how much money does Rob have now that he lost the bet? Okay, so he lost the bet, he lost money, but 40 is still going to go in each of his units. Okay, so now we put 40 in each of his 3 units. 40 times 3 equals $120, and that is our answer. Okay, so guys, it's all we're doing is making a before and an after tape diagram using the ratios that they gave us. Okay, and then plugging in the amount for one of the ratios, and then using what goes in each of those units in the next ratio. Okay, let's try another one. A sporting goods store ordered new bikes and scooters for every 3 bikes ordered. For every 3 bikes ordered, 4 scooters were ordered. However, bikes were way more popular than scooters, so the store changed its next order. The new ratio of the number of bikes ordered to the number of scooters ordered was 5-2. If the same amounts of sporting equipment was ordered in both orders, and 64 scooters were ordered originally just means before, at the beginning, how many bikes were ordered as part of the new order? Okay, so our first ratio is going to be 3-4. Okay, bikes to scooters. And this is before. Okay, I'm going to make after over here. This was 3-4. Bikes to scooters. Okay, and then after the new ratio became 5-2, and same thing, bikes to scooters. Okay, so if the same amount of sporting equipment was ordered in both orders, and 64 scooters were ordered originally, so before, so this has to equal 64. Okay, how many bikes were ordered as part of the new order? Okay, so this is the new order. This was the old order. Okay, so we're looking at the scooters. We see that there are 4 units. So we have to divide and figure out what's going to go in each unit. we do 64 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 once. We take away the 4, we get 2. Bring down the 4. 4 goes into 24. How many times? Okay, 6 times. So 16 is going to go in each unit. Okay. So now we figured out that 16 times 4 is 64. Now, it's asking us how many bikes were ordered as part of the new order. Okay. So 16 has to go in each of these units. Okay. And there are 5 units when we figure out 16 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. So our answer is 80 bikes. Okay, let's move on. Number 5. At the beginning of 6th grade, the ratio of the number of advanced math students to the number of regular math students was 3 to 8. So let's highlight that. And this is beginning. Okay. However, after taking the placement test, students were moved around, changing the ratio of number of advanced students to the number of regular math students to 4 to 7. Okay. So beginning, then after, okay, was 4 to 7. So 3 to 8, 4 to 7. How many students started in regular math and advanced math if there were 92 students in advanced math after the placements? Okay, so we have to make a tape diagram, and the ratio is advanced math to regular. So advanced, regular, 3 to 8. Okay. Okay. And then after the placement test, it was 4 to 7. Okay. So how many students started in regular math and advanced math if there were 92 students in advanced math after the placement test? So these 4 units have to equal 92, okay? Because this was the advanced group, okay? And this was the regular. So we figure out 92 divided by 4. 4 goes into 9 twice. We subtract that, we get 1. We bring down the 2. 4 goes into 12 3 times, and that's our answer. So 23 is going to go in each unit. Okay? So 23 times 4 equals 92. Okay? So it's asking us how many students started in regular math and advanced math if they were 92 students in advanced math after the placement test. So we're going to take this number, 23, and plug it in to all the units, because they want to know how many of each were there at the beginning of the year. So let's figure out the advanced group. Okay, A equals and R equals regular. Okay, so 23 times 3 is 9, 6. Okay, 69 students started in the advanced group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 23 times 8 is 24. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. And in the regular was 884 students. Okay, and that was our answer. All right, guys, let's keep going. Number 6, during the first semester, the ratio of the number of students in art class to the number of students in gym class was 2 to 7. However, the art classes were really small and the gym classes were large. So the principal changed students classes for second semester. In the second semester, the ratio of the number of students in art class to the number of students in gym class was 5 to 4. Okay? If 75 students were in art class the second semester, how many were in art class and gym class the first semester? So first, this is first semester. This is second semester. Okay? 2 to 7 was our first ratio, and that was art class to gym. Okay, so I'm going to make a tape diagram. 2 units to 7. And then in the second semester, it was 5 to 4. More people joined art. Okay. Okay, so there's our tape diagrams. One represents 2 to 7, and then the second one represents 5 to 4. Okay? So, it's telling us if 75 students were in art class in the second semester, so this has to equal 75, how many were in art and gym class the first semester? Okay? So, there are 5 units for art in the second semester, and we know that it equals 75. So 75, we have to divide 75 by 5. 5 goes into 7 once. We subtract 5 from 7 and get 2. We bring down the 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times, and that's our answer. Okay? So each of these units is going to be 15. And 15 times 5 equals 75. Now we're going to plug it in to the first semester, okay? So 15 here in each of these 2 units and 15 in each of the 7 units. And now all we have to do is do the math. Okay? So 15 times 2 is 30. So art was 30. And then 15 times 7 is 105. So gym was 105. And that is our answer, guys. Okay, hopefully you guys are getting a hang of this. All we're doing is comparing 2 different ratios and then just figuring out what goes in each unit and then plugging it into whatever they want us to find. In this case, they wanted us to find both the number of both the number of students in art and gym in the first semester using the ratio and the numbers from the second semester. Okay? Last problem, guys. Jeanette wants to save money, but she has not been good at it in the past. The ratio of the amount of money in Janet's savings account to the amount in her checkings account was 1 to 6. Okay? Because Janet is trying to get better at saving money, she moved some money out of her checking account and into her savings account. Now the ratio of the amount of money in her savings account to the amount of money in her checkings account is 4 to 3. If Janet had $936 in her checking account before moving money, how much money does Janet have in each account after moving money? Okay, so before and after, okay? Her ratio was 1 to 6, and this was savings to checkings, okay? Savings to checkings. And after, it was 4 to 3. So 1 unit here, 6 for the checkings, and then 4 here, and 3 for the checkings. Okay, if Janet had $936 in her checking account before moving money, so that was before she moved the money, okay, so right here, and she had 936 in her checking account, okay, how much money does Janet have in each account after moving money? So we need to figure out how much is in each of her accounts after. Okay, so we have $936 here, and we have 6 units. So we have to do 936 divided by 6. 6 goes into 9 one time. We subtract 6 and get 3, bring down the 3. 6 goes into 33 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. We bring down that, and then the last 6. 6 goes into 36 6 times. Okay, so 156 is going to go in each unit. Okay, and then 156 is going to go in each of these units as well. Okay, and now we just do the math. Okay, for her savings, we do 156 times 4. This is 24, 20, 22, 4, 6. For her savings, she had $624. For her checkings, 156 times 3, 18, 15, 16, 3, 4. So her checkings was $468. Okay, and that is our answer. Okay, we were comparing bank accounts for Janet before and after she moved some money from her savings to her checkings. We used ratios 1 to 6, and then after 4 to 3. She had a total of $936 in her checkings before moving money, and then we figured out that that was $156 in each unit. So we plugged 156 in each of the units after she moved the money, which was 4 to 3. We did the math here. We figured out that in her savings she had $624, and in her checking she had $468. Alright guys, the lesson summary. When solving problems in which a ratio between two quantity changes, it is helpful to draw a before tape diagram and an after tape diagram. And that is exactly what I did. Okay, I hope you guys aren't confused. If you are confused, watch the video again. If you have any questions, let me know. Alright.